Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're joining us from. Again, welcome to a brand new season of the Hard Zone. On the Hard Zone, we try to keep our conversation free from any bias, and just by way of disclaimer, all of the opinions and positions that will be offered on this network and this podcast and that is not the official position of the network, but that of the individual panelists that will be offering them.
Having 4 people on the back of a taxi driver, you want to compare it with 6 people on the back of a motorcycle? Come on, bro, Sharif.
Donald Trump was a former president. His words are very powerful. You can't just accuse an entire community like that. It's wrong.
Listen, Walker, I was one of those people that he actually told me face to face in his home that I would declare my asset. I would make sure my officials declare their asset. On today's date, something as simple as that has not been done.
We are working. We are not going to allow this structure to have the opportunity for 6 years, and they never did anything besides stealing the Liberian people money.
We have to be honest here. This old man is one of the incompetent old men that I have ever seen.
We need to have someone who has the educational background as well as the field experience to be able to provide oversight.
All of what Kamala is promising now, the last 4 years, why haven't they done anything? She and Joe Biden.
Look, church leaders, if Liberia will be better, you must play your role.
It is too early to criticize Waka because it is the formation stage.
Again, I'm your host. My name is Derek Yale, and let's get started. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever you are joining us from, let me welcome you to the Liberia Radio and Television Network, the LRTN for short. LRTN tonight is proud to present another episode of the Hard Zone. So if this is your first time joining us, the Liberia Radio and Television Network is a local media institution right here in Northeast Philadelphia. And we have our office open in Liberia for business as well. You can find us on Facebook at the Liberia Radio and Television Network or LRTN Live. Which is where I believe you're watching this live podcast from. We also have this podcast being streamed live on YouTube at the Liberia Radio and Television Network channel. And we have this going live as well on Instagram. So make sure you're following us on all of those platforms. And more importantly, make sure you're sharing this program to your individual social media pages so that you and your friends and family may be able to benefit from the discussions we have on Fire tonight. With that being said, my name is Derek Yale. I will be playing host tonight on the season finale of season 7. That is episode 12 of season 7. And the Hard Zone is an opinion-based talk show where we feature a team of panelists that will be joining us very soon to discuss issues from Liberia to the diaspora issues surrounding politics, social economics, development, and so many different issues. And our panelists are from different political background, different political institution and persuasions. So here on the Hard Zone, the conversation is very engaging, sometimes very tough. But here, there's no gimmick, no fluff, just real talk. And just to provide a disclaimer before we have our panelists join us very shortly, all of the positions and opinions that will be offered on this network tonight is not the official position of the network, but that of the individual panelists that will be offering them. Usually, we will have our current event on our agenda, but tonight, because we're again joining very late, so we will skip that part. So just to give you a heads up on what to expect on this network tonight, we will have our panelists joining very shortly, and then we will feature an open panel discussion tonight where we will discuss issues mainly in Liberia. and have our panelists bring up issues that have been very concerning to them, and they would like to express their opinions or position on them. So we'll feature discussions surrounding a lot of different issues based on what our panelists find present. With that being said, again, for just 4 days ago, our brothers and sisters from the Muslim faith celebrated the end of the fasting month, the holy month of it's Eid Mubarak, if I'm not mistaken. So on behalf of this network and myself, I would like to say happy belated Eid Mubarak to those of the Muslim faith. To all of you joining us, again, let me encourage all of you, please, to share this program and make sure you're following this network on all platforms, Facebook, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And I can promise you that it's going to be a very, very engaging conversation, intriguing as well. So stay with us as I welcome on our panelists lineup for tonight. So if you're here with us, please make sure you're smashing that button and following this network. Make sure you're liking and following the LRTN network. Again, guys, let's welcome our panelists lineup for this episode, and we will introduce the discussion for tonight. Thank you. Again, guys, if you're watching us, this is episode 12, season 7, the season finale, final episode for season 7. So if you're watching us, let me say again, welcome to the Liberia Radio and Television Network and the final episode on season 7. Let me introduce my panelists. Lineup for the night, Mr. Prince Sharif, Mr. Martin Boda, Mr. Jai Winkin Weir, and we'll have other panelists that will or might be joining us as the show progresses. Well, let me start with you, Mr. Prince Sharif. Welcome to the final episode of season 7.
Well, thank you very much, my brother Derek, for affording us the opportunity to be on here with you and to our distinguished panelists, Mr. Boda and Mr. Weir. It's always a privilege to share the platform with people from diverse political backgrounds and who understand the politics of Liberia, who have contributed immensely, in whatever way, form, or manner. I want to say I am privileged to share this platform with these distinguished people, despite of our own political, differences. But I think they are some of the funniest that we have in our community. So we celebrate them. Again, it's not a really fun time for some of us, especially for me. We lost one of our frontline generals in persons of Zolizo, Zotapla Davids, the one who was denied, to serve his country in the capacity of Deputy Minister of Defense. And, he lost his life. And since then, we've been, trying to put ourselves together. But I'm grateful that at last, we are here and we can discuss about Liberia for Liberia. And we just want to encourage others, to join us, hit the share button, invite as many people as you can invite. And let's have a wonderful, wonderful time. Thank you again for affording us the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And let me extend my condolence to you for the loss of Zolizo, to his political institution, and to his family as well. Like him or hate him, he was a big voice in the body politics of Liberia. With that being said, let's move on to you, Mr. Martin Boda. Welcome to the final episode of season 7.
Thank you. First and foremost, I want to extend my condolences to my brother Sharif and the family for the loss of Zolizo and our brothers.
Mr. Boda always low.
Mr. Boda, can you thank you.
Can you hear me now?
I think it's interesting how you be very audible in the back, but then when you come live and your volume just kind of go down.
I don't know why, but but like I said, it's a great thing to be here tonight to share with my brother.
It's not better at all, Mr. Boda? I don't know if it's just me, but I can barely hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Better.
Okay. Like I said, I mean, it's good to be here tonight, as always, to discuss issues concerning our nations and the world. And let's get started. You know, it's a good thing to be back here again to talk politics. Like I said earlier, my condolences to Brother Sherry and the family for the loss of so-and-so. You know, one of us, every Liberian is a Liberian. We deserve the respect, and we want to honor his legacy that he served in Liberia. And I wish you take courage and the rest of the family. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Martin Boda. Let's move on to you now, Mr. Ja Winkin. We are welcome to the season finale, season 7.
Thank you, Derek. Welcome, Brother Sharif, Mr. Boda. It is nice to be with you guys on the show tonight. Liberia, as I always says, for all Liberians, no matter of your political affiliation, and we should try to talk positively about our country, why we pushed or hold the feet of the government to the fire. Thank you. Let's do it, guys.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ja Winkin. We are again, guys. To those of you watching us, this is the Hard Zone episode 12, the season finale of season 7. And tonight, as I said in the introductory part of the show, we will focus mainly on Liberia, but we'll keep an open panel discussion. A whole lot has been going on. If you follow Liberia news or news in Liberia, we see Councilor Tiawan Gonklo expressing his disappointment in the day-to-day politics of Liberia, especially what's going on at the legislature with the House of Representatives, and condemning the majority bloc. We also saw in recent days that the Supreme Court reacted to that, and they had a hearing. And in other news, we saw the display of President Bouacar vehicle in some of the vehicle in his convoy, and we've seen former President George Manuel Weah released a statement to congratulate the brothers and sisters from the Muslim faith on their completion of the fasting month, and so many other things happened in the past few days. But I'd like to keep it open. I don't want to pick a specific topic for us to focus on. I'd like to bring this to you guys, and those issues, all the issues that may have caught their attentions in the past few days. I'll give you guys the opportunity to bring it up, and then we'll take the conversation from there. I'd like to start with you, Mr. Martin Boda, and then I'll take the next panelist.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. You know, it's a kind of interesting thing in Liberia that some of the things that we need to talk about, not to talk about, issue of the kind of issue. Displaying the presidential card for the president, I think these are things that happen periodically in our government. Every time there is a change of power, you realize that the incumbent or the current president coming in will always have to be giving some accommodation, you know, like vehicle and so forth. So, you know, people will have to complain all the time, but that's the tradition and that's a normal procedure for any government, for that matter. I don't know. There are a lot of things that we need to worry about and pay attention to. If we have concern about all of these issues, we should pass this thing into law. That's what we have our legislative body to do, you know, putting some stamp on things that we don't want done. However, these things are happening, and I was just going through the news. I seen the Nema women, you know, coming very forcefully in Nema County. You know, I want to see them supporting one of their own, or their sister to, you know, take concern. A couple of things I wanted to share with the Liberian legislature people talking. I think we talk about it multiple times on this show. Liberian people need to take stand. These guys in the house are not there working for the Liberian people. They are there for their self-interest. These are people who are not working for anybody, but rather themselves. I mean, in the history for the last 20 years or 18 years, not saying them, none of them have done anything to alleviate poverty or help move the people people from where they sit, So if we're gonna sit there and worry about them, and I'm just disappointed that Mr. Bogai has created a statement for himself. And he pretend he doesn't know what's happening. But I mean, this is inflicted wound that we're going through right now. So, Liberian people have got to stand up.
Thank you, bro. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Buddha.
No, I'm done.
Okay, thank you very much. You raised two important issues that would like to come back to you, and that I think is somehow contradictory. But I will come back to you on that. And correct me if I'm wrong. You said the president changing vehicle is like normal things in Liberia, and you don't find anything wrong with that. You don't think it should go up. It should be to the level for national discussions and stuff like that. And at the same time, you said Liberian people need to stand up. I have a serious concern.
I didn't say it don't need. I said if we have problem with that, the national legislature should have a stamp on that.
And I will come back to you. That my question.
I would like to address.
Yes. Let me. I will come back to you. I have a question on that. But let's hear from Mr. Jawin Kinwea.
Okay. Thank you, Derek, my fellow panelists and Liberians that are watching home. For a long time now, the issue at the national legislature regarding the speakership has been going on. The Supreme Court of Liberia has not conclusively ruled on the case. As a result, the case is still going on. But I'd like to look at this case from the foundational principles of the Constitution. I know the argument has been surrounding around Article 40, Article 49 and 33. These two articles only address the function of the legislature. My disappointment is that Liberians are forgetting Article 1 of the Constitution, which is the supreme article of, according to Article 1, this I'm talking about foundational principles of the Constitution. All those who are elected from the presidency down, the purpose of working for the government of Liberia is for the security, protection, and the well-being of the Liberian people. So this article alone covers that of Article 33 and 49. No matter of your position, if you are whether a speaker or deputy speaker, if you cannot function as the public servant, because the Constitution define the role of all those serving in government as public servant. If you cannot perform your functions in line with Article 1, then who are you? Who are you working for? I know everybody focusing on Article 33 and 49. What's about Article 1? That goes both to the majority black and the current speaker. Those who are only claiming to Article 33 and 49, what's about Article 1? If you are in a position, if you cannot function, if you cannot perform, then who are you? What are you doing? The service of the Liberian people for which you are elected is not being performed or are not being met. I read it again. Article 1 says the purpose of serving in Liberian government from the presidency down, number one, first of all, it classifies all of them as public servant. As a public servant, your main purpose of serving, one, to provide security for the Liberian people, to protect them and to meet their welfare. If you are a speaker who cannot hold a section, how do you meet the welfare of the people? Now, I know you claim that you are right. So my question is, what's about patriotism? if you are not serving the people, you're only protecting your position. Where is the patriotism? For all of them, if they are not working for the Liberian people, it means that they are incompetent. So in my opinion, the both of them, especially the speaker who is claiming to Article 33 and 49, if you cannot hold any meeting, if you cannot meet the needs of the Liberian people, who are you? Who are you serving? That's my question.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jarwinkin. I also have a question for you about that. So, how is the majority black or Speaker Kofa preventing Article 1 to be honored by him and his colleague? Who's preventing them? Who's stopping them from doing that? I would like for you to answer that. But let's hear from Mr. Sheriff, and then we'll come back with these rebuttal questions. Mr. Sheriff.
Yeah, okay. So thank you again for the opportunity. Well, I am grateful that we are all looking at now the reality, not speaking politics, because at the end of the day, every one of us, we are victim of whatever that will happen in Liberia. We're going to feel the burn of it. We're going to feel the heat of it. And I'm grateful that, people are now speaking out, especially, people who more like one would say have some soft spot for this particular regime, like my own brother, Mr. Boda. I really appreciate his take because these are people that maybe, that people will listen to. For us, say, well, we are critics. Whatever we say, yeah, the people everybody will always criticize. But when people like him is speaking the way he is speaking, I think to some extent, if this is any serious government that wants, a reform and that care about, their image, they will sit in their corner and say, look, we have to do some things right. But that is by the way. Well, there are several issues that have been happening in Liberia, which, is very concerning. Like we said always, and we want to say that Liberia is retrogressing under this particular government. And the reason why we are saying this is not because we hate this government, no. But the progress we've made, under the regime of whether it be Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf or the most recent President Weah, the progress that we've made, we've seen that this particular or those progress, they are gradually becoming, let's say, overshadowed by the level of negativity that we are seeing. Like, somebody make mention of what is happening at the House, the impasse at the House of, the legislator, basically to be specific, the lower house. You see what is happening in the lower house. And to see the president, who is the head of state, that is supposed to take charge, that whether we like it or not, whatever the outcome is, falls on his shoulder as president, as head of state, that he will use other people to destabilize his own government, then I think it's unfortunate. And these are things that, is scary. You also saw the communication from ECOWAS. For ECOWAS to tell Mr. Boyka, a man that boasts of 42 years experience in government, for ECOWAS to tell you, that you need to work with former leaders, you need to respect the Supreme Court rule of law, the Supreme Court ruling, you need to ensure that the right thing is done, etc., etc. I think it's just appalling for ECOWAS to use such a statement in this kind of, I want to say, especially to the executive, because all of us know that the executive have played a pivotal role in manipulating the entire process of what is happening at the lower house. It's concerning. And when you look at, the most recent thing, which I believe we'll also talk about, the darkness that befall our own international airport. And this is not the first time this kind of terrible things has happened. You know that there was a plane, I think it was I think Morocco Air or so, that had a very serious problem in Liberia under the same Boyka administration. And we saw also the airport that there was serious leakage at the airport where it was raining. We saw water pouring down, like the airport was just an open place, and today we are seeing that bird will be able to disrupt the entire electricity at the, the how you call the place, the RRA. It's just appalling. It's appalling. But this is just to tell us that this government lied. Like our brother Isaac Do will always say, you can lie your way to power, but you cannot lie your way to govern, because governing is practical, and we are seeing the practicality. We saw what happened of recent when Mr. Boyka did his tour on the street, Benson Street. You saw what happened. We also, how, the people rejected him, so to speak. He was rejected, by the commoners. When he tried to, interact with the people, say he's going to buy whatever he was going to buy. You saw, the people faces. You saw around how people relate to him. So there are a lot of things happening. But again, we are here and we believe with the specific questions and with those topics that you have, we can expand on it further. But again, I want to say, my people, you are here for us to share button. Interact in the comment section, and let's have a wonderful time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sheriff. Let me stay with you because I'll come back to you, Mr. Buddha, right after Mr. Sheriff. You made a statement, and correct me if I'm wrong or if I'm not quoting you verbatim. You said the progress made from the previous administration, especially the most recent former President George Manneh Weah. It almost seems that this government is erasing the progress that were made during the previous administration. If you can, for the sake of our audience, just give us specifics on some of those progress that were made that you think that we are going back on as a nation, that this administration is kind of like taking us a step back.
All right. So one, we saw that under the regime of the former president, His Excellency President Dr. George Manneh Weah, we did not have any political prisoner. You are aware of that. But as I speak today, we do have political prisoners, especially using the issue that is happening at the lower house to be able to, put people in jail without, giving them their due process. So these things are happening. Also, what we are looking at police brutality, like what is going on now, under the regime of His Excellency President Dr. George Manneh Weah, we saw that the government took serious exception to, police using force and brutality, but now it has become so common, especially in Liberia, under this particular regime. We are even seeing people dying in police cells, police carrying on brutality. You saw what happened with the Liberian National Police and that of the military officer or AFL. You saw that there was an open fight, an open fight. So these are some of the things that we're talking about. Like you see, the government is now, trying to restrain people. The press, there are some members of this government that is using, threatening remarks against members of the press. Julius Jay is a current example where, a member of this particular regime called him and said, while he was talking, they use some threatening remarks, and the communication or the video is out there. So these are some of the progress that we've made, that today we are seeing that we are retrogressing in terms of education. In terms of education, the Weah-led administration took a serious approach to be able to see how best they can improve the education sector and giving our people, what we call a tuition-free university. Today, what we're seeing happening is just appalling. You are listening to students of the University of Liberia saying that the university have been abandoned, and that those programs that were put in place, like the digital rights system that was put in place at University of Liberia, has been abandoned by this particular government. So there are just so many things that this government is reneging on and that we are retrogressing on. Respect for the rule of law, respect for people's rights and dignity, the freedom to assemble. You saw how the students, they were treated. This government has no respect for, people's fundamental right. Listening to Mr. We are talking about Article 1, where it states that all power is inherent in the people and that the people should use that power. But unfortunately, this government is not giving the people the opportunity. They are using every what we call lethal force, every maximum force that you can think about to deny the people of expressing their own political right, like we saw under the regime of former President Weah, where people were given the opportunity to express their dissatisfaction, and the police were even there to guide them and even gave them, what we will refer to maybe as snacks or food, that they can exercise their democratic franchise and at the same time be felt by the state. But today, that's not what we are seeing. Students have been brutalized, and people who come up to express their dissatisfaction, they've been earmarked enemy of the states, and they've been chased after by this government. So it's just so appalling. So these are some of the retrogression that we are talking about as it relates to this government.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prince Sheriff. Let me give you 30 seconds, Mr. Jai Winkin. I really want to go to Mr. Boda to talk more about the president displaying his vehicle, how he mentioned it's not much of a problem that will raise to national issue. But let me ask you a question on what Mr. Sheriff just said, Mr. Jai Winkin. Now he when speaking about progress made, he talked about there is no political prisoner and police brutality and the progress that were made in the educational sector. For example, the free tuition at the University of Liberia, the freedom to assemble. Mr. Jai Winkin, we are the previous administration is just like yesterday. Our memory is still fresh on what happened. Do you think what Mr. Sheriff said about the reality now and then? Do you think it is? What do you think about that? Let me just put it on your table.
Well, I say no. I am in Liberia every year. From the time I was elected, I go to Liberia every year. For Lai to give up is at the RIF, that happened under WIA several times as well. With respect to rule of law, there was no changes. They had no news. I said it here before. Like even the boast of the tuition thing. If you are elected democratically, why can't you do things through the democratic process by passing law through the legislation, all that kind of stuff? If we were to do that, the tuition thing he's talking about right now, it would have still been in place. So again, I don't want to waste my time, but during WIA administration, at the same time, people in the taxi, people beating people in the street. In the corner, there's a people just brutalizing people in the street. Douala, other places that happen. Even if you were to go to police station, the police, they're going to ask you to bring money, so they go look for the person. His police director, I remember I had a program during WIA time. And those are people that are all demanding for big titles. I think I wrote letter, they say I don't put honorable, even though I put a title there. And I'm the only guy who refused to use title when I address a letter. I call you by a rightful title. And so what Brother Sheyi is saying, why it is true I love President WIA? President WIA disappointed majority of the Liberian people. People look up to him that he would have brought a change. But what did he do? When he took power, he brought on board the very people from Taylor. All the Taylor advisors, those who caused atrocity in Liberian people. While people were starving, he went to his own football game. Nobody want to talk about that. I don't want to dwell on WIA. WIA did not do anything different from all these people that have been in power. WIA felt that they was their time. They used to say it's our time. He go to Nigger Town, my own place, he beat drums, they dance at their time. Atia, the speaking crew. So there is no big difference I see between WIA government, was it Ebola? That money they put in the market, they divided the money. They said they were going to take care of the stuff. 25 million. What happened to it? No account for that money. People were sick. They said they were going to use WFP people. Nobody got food. That was WIA administration. So I don't want for everybody to come here and say, look, everything was a brand butter under WIA. WIA was a disappointment. No rule of law under WIA, the same with the same thing that is happening now. I know he's willing to come back, but what was the big difference between him and Boakai? I don't see any difference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jai Winkin. I don't know if you would like to in response to that, Mr. Sheriff, I'm about to go to Mr. Boda on this.
Yeah, but there was no response. Let me Sheriff comment about it. It's 25 million. It's 25 million. They say they were going to give. Let me talk about it.
Before you respond to that, Mr. Sherry, let me just add to Mr. Jai Winkin because I feel like this was like just yesterday. If you say the previous administration they had the freedom to assemble, no police brutality, how did the Heron Costa protest ended? Just talk to her about that. Wasn't that a police brutality? And then you can respond to Mr. Jai Winkin.
Thank you. Why it is true that each and every one of us are given the right to be able to assemble, but we must also understand that assembling does not mean that you are given the right to cause damage or to be able to cause any further destruction. We all saw what happened at the protest ground, at the time that the protester decided to take a different route, it was up to the police to be able to protect the very protesters and even people who were not protesting and to protect lives and property. You saw what happened when they began initially, assembling, the police escorted them, was there providing water and etc. But immediately that people decided among the group, and you must also understand that they are mixed multitude, which was very, very clear. We saw people lighting fire on the quota, and you know what a quota is, mixed with some other flammable substance. We all know, what a quota is. You saw people lighting fire on the quota, and you know that that particular area hosts some of the most strategic or the most important buildings, that we have in Liberia. Let's say that is the seat of government, so to speak. When you look just right, above you, you have the executive mansion. When you look right down there, you have the Supreme Court of the
Mr.
Republic of
Mr. Sheriff, I'm sorry to interrupt, but are you saying the police brutality back then, is that your point was
No,
justified?
that wasn't a police brutality. That wasn't a police
It
brutality.
ended with the police unleashing tear gas on protesters.
No, police unleashing tear gas on protester in that particular instant,
Or
that was
justified.
not the police brutality. What the police was trying to do was to save even those that were there. When you saw people lighting fire, because there were people who went there with sinister motive. In fact, one of their propagandists is on record of saying that people took arm there, which all of us know. According to Costa, if I will call his name here, Costa said, in fact, Yeke Koluba at the time had arm in his car. So with this kind of information, it was only right for the police to come in where you saw people lighting fire. That could even be disastrous for even the protesters. So it was, important for the police to come in to provide that particular safety method to ensure that the protesters and people who are not
Mr.
protesting
Sheriff,
are protected.
I will give you your time back, but there are several other protests that we can name. I don't know if you're going to justify all of them, but I think the point here is that there were police brutality, because I can talk about the $16 million of Bring Our Money Back protest. How did that protest end? How the other protests that led to police unleashing tear gas on protesters that were unarmed? How do we define that? Wasn't that police brutality? Because I don't want to spend our time here you justifying every incident. But again, I would like you to respond to Mr.
Johnny case that is Supreme Court.
I think we both can agree at least on the issue of police brutality, because we don't have time to address all of the other issues.
To just address it quickly so that we can move on to our brother. The thing is, when you look at the scales of police brutality, or let's just try to generalize it. Look at the scales of police brutality. You saw under His Excellency President Dr. George Manneh Weah. I am not saying that all was perfect or all were very perfect. No, we had challenges. But now when you look at the scales of what is happening, as compared to what happened yesterday, and remember that the Unity Party came, that's why sometimes it's appalling for people to stay be talking about the past regime. One of the reasons why we have a different regime was because, people said that everything that we did was wrong. So you've come now to do what is right. But why is it that you are even doing worse than what you even met there? So we should not be talking about what is in the past, because you punish the past because of these, one would say, these very minute things that were happening. You punish the past government, which we all understand. That is the democratic right of people to exercise, when they feel that, one is not working in their interest. So now let us be able to focus on what the current government is doing and forget about what happened in the past. But to see people stay trying to drag in President Weah into this, then it means that they have not really gotten a foot settled on the ground. then it means that they cannot be able to point onto anything that this government is doing, because
No.
you cannot promise change and come back and stay running behind the people who you move from there. It's just that you already catch the rule. For example, now, then you running behind, you just chasing the air. What are you chasing? You have
I
the
understand.
opportunity to not change it,
No,
so
no,
change it.
no,
You
no.
forget about what
No,
happened in
no,
the
Barack,
past.
it's not a
I
good thing.
understand. I understand the optics you're pushing for them, Mr. Sherry. But again, before I go to Mr. Boda, let me clarify something. I'm not a big fan of going back to the past 6 years to kind of make comparison and kind of like just compare the two administrations. I'm not a big fan of that. But what most people will argue is that don't use these government lapses to make the previous administration look like they were much better. I think both administrations, like Brentwood, can say that they deserve way better. So if someone comes to the conversation and be like, "Oh, because President Puaka doing exactly or way worse than what George Manuel Weah was doing," yes, President George Manuel Weah was doing yesterday, it doesn't make him look any good. And unfortunately, that's what this administration is making it seems like. So when people engage in a conversation where they're bringing back the previous administration, especially when you talk about the previous administration, like we didn't live through that administration yesterday. We lived through that administration. We saw some of the worst in our government could possibly do. So when you come to a conversation and you try to pin this government like it might have probably better than this administration, but it wasn't the best for the Liberian people. Let's not try to paint that picture for the sake of the Liberian people. One will argue let's not try to paint that picture. They were both government, I think, that the Liberian people are not so happy with. So I don't think it's about people and so keen on talking about that administration or drawing the comparison. I just think
Well, that is your
that
point. It's
we all want.
respected, but it's not the reality. That is your opinion.
I
And you
understand, but
entitled to your opinion. But when you take your microphone out there, like we have listening to so many other different media outlets, including some of the most critical outlets against our own government, or some of the propagandists against our own government, they have sent their microphone out there, and you hear what the ordinary people are saying. The ordinary people are the best judge of the two regimes.
Thank you.
What they are saying. We are hearing it every time.
Thank you, Mr. Sir. But one thing for sure, everybody gets behind the microphone and the camera for different reasons. So we can't get into all of the different reasons people get behind the microphone. Everybody has the objective. But again, I would like to excuse this conversation for and just dive into something else. Let's come back to you, Mr. Boda. Before we come back to you, let's play a video or a show of video of the president new ride, and then we'll come back to Mr. Boda. I think we lost the video, but the portion of it we saw kind of make the point.
Yeah.
Yes. Mr. Anderson, before I ask you, not Anderson, but Mr. Boda, before I ask you this question, supporters of the Unity Party, when we hear excuses from them, we usually hear, "Oh, the government cannot do a lot of things because the budget is too low. Do you know how much the state of Pennsylvania have in their budget, and they can't even get things done? Like, bro, have way too less of a budget to affect change. They can't do nothing for education. They can't build hospitals. They can't do anything because guess what? Our budget is too small." It happened all around the world, but then when we look, the president just kind of like put a new ride in our face. Again, don't take my word for it. I saw somewhere they say that Lexa, the president driving, is over $103,000 of the Liberian people money for the president to stay in AC. For the president to stay in a very good car. The very president, and I said last, and when he was running, that if you call for him to ride wheelbarrow to go to his office, he would do that. That very president today. We know what happened to the one he was riding before. We have no idea what a Liberian money that is spent on cargo. But the president got a brand new Lexus. Mr. Boda, before I come to you, let me welcome the bishop to the show. Let me recognize his presence. Bishop Hagar, welcome to the show.
How you doing, Terry? How you doing?
Oh dear.
Welcome, Bishop Hager.
Welcome,
Yeah,
Bishop.
welcome,
Bishop,
Bishop
welcome.
Hager. Welcome.
Wonderful
Thank you.
people.
Thank you.
Wonderful people.
Thank you very much, Bishop Hager. Let's hear from you now, Mr. Buddha, because you said that the president in that car, that unleashing, displaying that car to the that they call it opulence, right? Opulence lifestyle to the Liberian people. There's not something that we should be talking about. It happening in government every day, Mr. But let me come back to you to clarify that.
Well, what I said was that LeBron government has every change of government that always been.
Mr. Buddha always low. I don't know why.
I don't. I'm not saying low.
You only know when it comes to conversation about the administration. But Mr. Buddha, go ahead.
Can you hear me? I'm not waiting. I want you audible.
All of a sudden now you loud enough. Go ahead.
So what I was saying is that I know everything gonna have some public cry, all cry about the president bought a new car, the president got a new car for the president. And I said earlier that these things can be mitigated or relegated by the legislatures, because these are people who make laws for our country. And I also understand that the car that President Weah was using was what was passed on to President Wakai. I don't know the current state of that condition of that car. And it's something that the president deserves a better car. We need security for our leaders. I understand the economic challenges. I mean, if you buy your legislatures cars every year when they take offices, what more about the president of the country? So I know people cry, and the expectation is that everything was going to change overnight. As soon as Mr. Boga take over, I think I made that known on the show. I said, look, thing is not going to change automatically when the man takes over.
Mr. Buddha is even struggling to find his own sentence to defend.
No, I'm not struggling. I am not struggling tonight. I'm telling you the fact is that I'm giving you reasonings.
Let's
we talk about expectation on this show.
Yeah, protect them, Mr. Buddha. Go ahead.
We talk about expectation on this show when we were talking when there was elections. And LeBron people are angry. Yes, indeed, they'll be angry because our expectation is always high. We don't have, first of all, we don't have the skill. We don't have, you look at your country, there are a whole lot of things going on in Liberia. We talk about this. And you think that you're going to perform miracle? No, you cannot perform any miracle to change the people's life overnight. I don't care how much money you can pump in the Liberian economy. It's not going to change life overnight.
Thank you, Mr. But I wish the producer had the means to just highlight important, comments, because something I find very interesting. I think the Liberian people needs to hear this from Mr. Buddha. The president deserves a better car. I think the president deserves a better car. What would say maybe the Liberian people deserve a better president, but again, I don't know. Bishop Hager, let's hear from you. We're doing a open panel discussion, so I don't want to hold you to this conversation, but that's what's on the table. Mr. Boda, speaking on the president displaying his new car, as you can see on the screen, he said the president deserves a new car. He don't think they should raise. He don't think this should reach to a national conversation level. There's nothing wrong with it. It happening in every government. The president, matter of fact, should not be using former President George Manuel Weah old car. He doesn't care about the state of the car the president was using. But at the end of the day, the president deserves a new car.
I don't know the state of the car. I didn't
let's put this on your table, Bishop Hager.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, and to all my friends. I will want some serious conversation here tonight, and you guys are dignitary, and I expect you guys for us to have a serious conversation tonight. I would really love you in subsequent high zone to reach out to the Director of Executive Protection and asking what is the reason, what's the rationale behind the purchasing of the new vehicle. In the first place, the vehicle was allocated in the budget of the Ministry of Presidential Affairs. The budget was passed, approved and passed, signed into law. Like even the CDC legislatures, they are represented, the money that they're getting, it was actually approved in the budget. So every time the budget is passed, you have to spend what is being allocated. Not spending it, it means that you are not fulfilling the budgetary requirement. So the President Joseph Yuma Boaga transportation need to be upgraded. What I understood from the Director of Executive Protection, he said a couple of things, and nobody listening, because we all like to have our own opinion. He said, and Mr. Prince Sharif, you can come up to justify or not to justify, that there were two vehicles. They tried to retrieve the vehicle for His Excellency, former President George Manuel Weah. It was to no avail. And Liberia when they want to try to use all the means, everybody be crying and say, oh, the witch hunting the man was president, why they want to take the car? The car is a Liberian people car. Now, sometimes you guys need to understand, preparing these vehicles is more expensive just to maintain them than to get a new one. If you are going to be spending $50,000 every year to maintain a vehicle, to put it in a position, why not just agree to spend $100,000 to get a new one that will take you at least 5 years before you meet him? I did the same thing.
You're making that information on Bishop Hager.
I'm not making out any information. And you said this is a free conversation, and you're not trying to infuse in my thought. If you do that, we'll just leave your show, because I'm saying this is a fact.
I have the right to interrupt you and add to what you say. I'm sorry if you feel like I'm interrupting you. I will give you the time back, Bishop Hager, but I wanted to clarify. First of all, my question would be, the explanation you're providing to our audience, brother, is that came from the government? Did you call that director and he said, oh, the money we were going to spend to repair the president's vehicle or to maintain it was way more than the price of a Lexus? Is that the explanation you're giving us?
Well, I'm saying there are so many factors, and you guys are only taking one aspect. The president bought a new car. You think Joseph Boaga, with the level of statement he is, will just go and indulge himself in wasteful spending? Everybody know how this man is very, very serious minded when it comes to even spending on himself. He's not a man that loves luxury. But the argument, those are serious people. The argument is, what was the rationale behind? The rationale behind the purchasing of the new vehicle. And the Liberian people need to understand, the vehicle will enhance the president's security everywhere in the world right now. And I can question and I can challenge, and I'm openly right now want to challenge any sedition. Check in all the countries in West Africa and look at the presidential motorcade. Compare that with Liberia. Let Liberian people know we are the lowest in terms of vehicle. We are the cheapest in terms of vehicle. So CDC people should not be making all the noise around here when they stole money and build bungalow around here. That vehicle is not for Joseph Yuma Boaga. It is for the presidency. When 2029 comes, that vehicle will be turned over. That's why we had effective. We're trying to digitize every government of Liberia property. It will not happen again. I think what they did after they turned over, they stole everything, it's not going to happen again. We are going to systematically control everything.
Thank you.
New government. No, I'm finished here. So Liberian people need to understand that vehicle was not a budgeted or not money that Joseph Yuma Bwaga or His Excellency just got us a new vehicle. It was allocated in the budget of the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs. It was approved by the legislature. It must be spent. That's how normal, decent, serious government operate. It's not just taking money and put it in your pocket and just do anything, spending money outside the budget. When they have the first year, they were just spending so much money outside the budget, doing everything. Their money, that budget was approved. That money was approved. There ain't anybody say that not true. It was approved. Like them people, it was approved. So if you have problem, go to the legislature. Why they didn't do due diligence? Ask why you buy a new car? That the car is bought here. All the got stuff and politics.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sit down with your politics, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I want to inject.
Can I inject something?
Before you do that, Bishop Hagar just told us 1 + 1 equals 2. Everybody knew that. The president spent his budget there and allocated in the proof. But let's hear from Mr. Jawinkin Weah.
So, Bishop Hagar, I am disappointed for you to make reference to the allocation of budget. The last time I checked, experienced worker, 42 years old man in government, his campaign was to fix what is broken in Liberia.
Is he not fixing it? Is he not fixing it? No. Let's have a conversation.
I'm coming. And part of the fixing was to cut down wasteful spending.
What you call that wasteful spending? What the metric? No. What you call that wasteful spending? Don't take that. It's not wasteful. It's not. It's not wasteful. That vehicle is even cheaper. It's not wasteful.
I know.
Bishop Hagar.
The last time I checked, you were making comparison with the budget of Philadelphia with Liberia.
Mr. Jawinkin, we are 1 second. Bishop Hagar, if you need more time, I will give you enough time. But let's protect the other panelists to give their position or opinions. Just let protect them, please.
I agree with you that Liberia does not have money. Where you are now, Bishop Hagar, if you got 10 people in the house and the budget is $100, even though you are the principal occupant of that house, that $100, just because you are the occupant and the principal occupant, you can take $80 to spend it on you. It's not right. That's what I'm saying. Sure, I just put it in that way. Liberia doesn't have money. I agree that it deserves something. All you need to do was to focus on the improvement of the income to the country, to invest, to make sure that we begin to produce stuff. You got 6 years. Maybe in 3 years, I'm coming. Maybe in 3 years, my fellow Liberians, in the past 3 years, this is how much we have, brought in to Liberia. Based on
we are, with all due respect to you, you're a journalist.
I am.
Check
what the
development partner, what they are saying about the first year of this government.
We're not talking about
Bishop Hagar. What I'm saying, Bishop Hagar, you understand? I'm seeing what the life of the people in Liberia. People call you every day. People, how many jobs? I'm not saying Bwakai is responsible. I am saying there was expectation from Bwakai based on the experience. Where is the timeline?
So the president might be okay. Bwakai to solve the Liberian problem. Go get on battle, get and go to work. And that's what you work for Bwakai to do.
No, it's not what I'm saying. No, I'm trying to remind you why he did say when
he go get what you want.
No, it's not what I'm saying. He said it. He promised it. That was a promise. I'm not the one who's saying it.
The vehicle 100,000 cannot even solve any problem. Even that 100,000 is even lower. That's the cheapest in terms of presidential monarchy in the entire Africa.
Bishop Hagar, let me.
But you criticize other people. That's what I'm saying. You say you are going to fix it.
Listen, you want to politicize everything. If you're
Let me,
serious-minded,
Bishop Hagar, Bishop
it's not.
Hagar,
This thing is no conversation.
My man, Derek,
The
you
person
ride more than
Africa Ryan
$60,000
almost
car.
have
You
$1
don't
million
ride more than
car. Then you want to talk about
$60,000 car.
Liberia because you buy $100,000 car.
Bishop Hagar,
Oh man, you be serious, man.
If I may, let me ask you a question though, because I feel that most of what you say, I need to clarify for the sake of my audience. That's what I will say first of all. If you, how can you put these two things together? The president is not a man of wasteful spending. He's not a man that likes luxury, but then when you see the president coming, he pull up in his Lexus. Now,
Yeah,
here's my thing. You also
yeah,
said, I'll come up, Mr. Sherry, I'll come to you next. $100,000 is not a lot of money. I can promise you, if you give MCSS $100,000 today, those students will not have been on that street to protest against their teachers going slow in the class, or no teacher showing up to the classroom. If that president would have said, let me ride my vehicle already and take that $100,000 that was allocated and budgeted and approved and give it to MCSS again, those students would not have been on the streets of Monrovia. So Bishop Hagar,
let me tell you, you stop playing politics. You be serious here. You saw the increase in the education budget. Listen, you be serious. I want you to have a serious conversation here. I will not take it. Look at the budget of education. Look at the budget of health. Look at the budget of infrastructure development. You can be talking to here.
What do you mean you will not take it? Like, what's the other thing? Let's hear from Mr. Sherry.
You know. Let me just say this, right, before going into this. Bishop Hagar, you are one of the most respected Liberian we have in our community.
Thank you.
You do not need a job from Mr. Bueka or from anybody.
Thank you.
You can survive with the level of expertise that you have. In fact, you are even providing job for Liberians here in the US. So you do not need anybody from Liberia money for you to survive. And it is incumbent upon you to look in the faces of these people and tell them what is right. Because one way or the other, you are contributing, whether we are on a payroll or voluntarily or whatever way, you are contributing towards their propaganda. But some of these things, when you say it, it even agitate the very people who you are with in the same cycle, that is members of the Unity Party, so to speak. You even agitate them. The first thing, let's look at this. There is something we call misplaced priority. There is something we call misplaced priority. I will classify Mr. Bueka in this form. He has a misplaced priority. He is insensitive to the plight of the people, and he is clueless about what governance is. You talk about the issue of budgetary allocation. Why do we have recast budget? Usually, when the government sit down and look at the budget and see that why it is true that this is our own expectation, because the budget is basically what the government project, that this is what we want to spend on. We want to spend on this, we want to spend on that. It doesn't mean that the government have the money readily in your hand to say, yeah, we get the money and this is what we're going to do for it. So budget is just like, your expectation is like your projection. So usually when these projections are placed out, then people sit down, and when they know that this particular budget does not, aligned with the people's agenda of what is important, then they come back around the table. They say, oh, let's do recast. Then they will say, okay, let's cut the other one here and put it on the other side. Let's cut the other one in the simple way and put it on the other side, because at the end of the day, when we do it, these people will benefit. So they come around the table, and their time we hear about recast budget. So Joseph Newman Bueka, $1.2 million car being in the budget is not a law and gospel. But this is just to tell you that, look, Bueka is insensitive to the plight of the ordinary people. Now, in this day, age, and time, what you will expect a leader to do, that in this kind of economy, that he will take austerity measure, that there will be measures that will be unusual. Like, take for example, we saw what His Excellency President Dr. George Manneh Weah did when he took over as president. Now, when we took over as president, he knew very well that there were going to be troubling times. So what did he do? What President Weah did was to ensure that
Liberia
look,
was not
all of our ministers, give me chain now, because
they don't make to me go
listening to you, sir. Let's give your hand.
Go ahead.
So we saw, President, we are setting up a ceiling for people wage and say, look, if you are a minister, you cannot make above $7,000 because we need to be able to help our people. We need to redirect because things are not in a normal stage. What did he do? He cut down all of these fabulous benefits and privileges that were
And
coming
spend
to people,
45 days to
like
go watch the
buying
son playing
cars, you know,
football.
2 times in a year.
Thank you.
45 days to go watch the son playing football, spending
Hello,
millions
Bishop
of dollars. To
Hagar.
go. No.
Bishop
No,
Hagar.
tell me now. Tell me. Wow, how you just
Hagar,
how
you.
you
give me
account
the
this kind
chance.
of platform?
I can do
Look,
the
can
scene that
say.
you're doing, but I want for all of us to
Bishop
enjoy
Hagar.
the opportunity. Hey, you know, I can do the same, I can interrupt and do the same thing that you're doing, but I want for all of us to enjoy the opportunity. So what we saw His Excellency doing was taking what we call the necessary approach to be able to ensure that at least he can be able to serve, or the government can serve as a shock absorber to be able to ensure that the people are afloat. So we saw, President, we are cutting down all of these fabulous benefits where you have to buy a car 2 times in a year for ministers and etc. We even saw, President, we are using for 3 good years the old car of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. In fact, it broke down on several occasions. We are witnesses here. The article are out there. The car that he was using for Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf for 3 years. I said 1 year. I said 2 years. I said 3 years. President, we are used those cars, and the car was even
Thank you.
break
Thank you.
down to the extent that even some of his colleagues from the international, from UAE, had to say, "Look, Mr. President, you are too, you are too up there for this, and we will be able to give you this." But to see
Thank
Bishop Hagar coming to defend $1.2 million car and say in the budget they may need to, who is behind Mr. Boyka? Who is
Okay,
actually behind Mr.
Thank
Boyka?
you.
Is
explain.
Liberia
Thank you.
an
Thank
unsafe
you.
zone as far as our, security is concerned? That is the thing. You need only $250,000 to solve the teacher's problem of not going in school. That is the public teacher. But you are using $1.2 million on car. Then you want
Thank
us to
you.
say to clap for him. Look, it's a minus. It's a disgrace. That's to tell you that Mr. Boyka don't even know his priority. You don't even know that the people that he is serving, that it is about time that he live according to what he said. There's a man that
Okay,
said, we are not
you've
going
been
to
talking
do
the
the
same thing.
COT.
You've been saying the
Well,
whole thing.
Thank you.
I have to
yeah, where we are.
interrupt.
Thank
Can
you.
you
Sorry,
ask
$1.2
this
million
young
for
man?
car.
Mr.
Can
Sheriff.
you
Boyka going
ask
up for
the
1.2
young
million.
man? Can you
Thank
ask
you.
the young man
Thank you, Mr.
what was the priority that George Weah had that
We're
he
not,
left and went to watch his son playing football for 45 days,
Well, Hagar, let's
spending
correct
Liberia
it. It's
pro
not
money?
1.2 million for
Bishop
that car.
Hagar, I will get a question over to Prince, Mr. Sheriff. I'm sorry, but let me bring this conversation to Mr. Jai Winking Weah. It is a complete. I will ask the question at the end of this, Mr. Weah, please. It's a complete disservice and mockery to the Liberian people what we have seen, and I'm talking about the average Liberian people. Where can I even afford their daily needs? When we see the last or the present administration, the last administration do things like this. Just again to Mr. Sheriff, yesterday, I mean, we saw President George Manuel Weah harmonizing salary. And after he harmonized salary, he went and renovated his dilapidated building on 9th Street.
That's correct.
When President Weah advertised cake or cake plane, the next thing we saw him doing was riding a private jet. Today, last week, we saw President Boyka giving well water to the people of Babalu County. This week, we're seeing him in a Lexus. This is complete mockery to the Liberian people from the past administration to this administration. Mr. Jai Winking Weah, what I want you to go a different line on this for the Liberian people. You waited 12 years after Ellen. You believe that you needed a young person to move the country forward. We understand the plight of the younger generation of Liberian to move the country. He did a job that nobody even want him back. We can tell from the amount of people that the voter turnout that voted President Boyka. Now you post somebody there with over 40 years of experience in governance, have served 12 years, and he cannot seem to get it right in just under a year, have no idea, and living the same opulence lifestyle that Liberian people saw from the previous administration. Where, just talk to us about the current state of the Liberian people. Where is their hope? Is there any hope for the Liberian people as far as depending on the government to change their lives, just to give them their basic rights, education, access to safe drinking water, to give them access to good health care, talk to the Liberian people? Will any administration ever be able to do that for them?
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. I'd like to go back a little bit. Fellow Liberians, we killed Turbot. Many Liberian people killed Turbot in the coup d'etat for rampant corruption, nepotism. After that, we killed Doe. For those of you who don't know, besides Doe, thousands of Liberians died in the name of what? Freedom, good governance. We haven't learned anything yet. Taylor got there. You say you keep my mind, keep my power, vote for you. When Taylor came, the first thing he did was start killing people, beginning with Doki. Because Doki was the opposition. So he slaughtered Doki, burning with tires. That's why the whole country turned upside down. I wrote that story. So I know what I'm talking about. This is a fact. Liberians, we are not learning. The people we put in power supposed to be working for us. It should not be the other way around. We keep looking up to our people, worshiping them, instead of demanding them to work for us in line with Article 1 of the Constitution. What we are seeing today, the power is with you, the Liberian people. I'm not asking you to pick a gun to go and fight. Those people who are in power, they are human beings. They will intimidate you so that they will remain in power. But in spite of whatever any of them does, we still have the power as people. For example, we can do so many things as people in Liberia. We all know the water we drink, we just need to dig. We don't need scientific research. We don't need discovery to know that there's a water here. But we sit in Liberia, we're waiting for NGOs. That money we spend in the club, Liberians, a neighbor who can come together and put that money together and dig a well. This is not politics. This is about empowerment. That's what I'm talking about now. I know the people we put in power, they think that they are doing our favor. And that's what people think in Liberia. Whenever you are in power, you are not doing a favor. You are required to work for the people. So this government, they need to think. They got more time. They need to get timeline. They need to tell the Liberian people how much will they require. For example, they got water, electricity in Monrovia. We need to know timeline. We should keep. We should stop repeating the same thing over and over and give excuses. We are the oldest country in Africa. People need to learn from us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me come back to you, Bishop Hagar, because you have some a question for Mr. Sheriff. I'll give you the opportunity to do so. But before I do that, let me ask you this question though. Let's put politics aside, Bishop Hagar. I know this is, or again, I'm not going to assume your stance, but from what you have elaborated on this episode and previous episode, it almost seems like you kind of support this government spending the entire 6 years trying to be better than the previous administration, defending the ills, regardless of whether it warrants your support or defense. But Portland Liberia first, Bishop Hagar, I know how much you care about or Liberia, how much you care about education, improving education, the health sector, and other areas. I know how deeply you care about those things. Now, if you see the president spending money, look, let me give you an example. If you're a father in the home and your children not in school, their school fee is just $50. But every month, They see you buying new shoes or new or stuff that costs over $500. Will you keep telling them that, hey, daddy can afford to send you to school, or will you take that money to send them, just some of that money, or 10 or 5% of that money to send them to school? Same way, if you're supporting the president today, that we can look at key areas that can be fixed for some more money, and you see this president spending. I don't know if the number from Mr. Sheriff, I haven't verified, is right, over $1 million on a car, and we don't know the state of the car he was driving. Is that something that is worth defending, or that is worth to that you can't say, hey, I support this president? I have to say this is not a wise use of taxpayer money, because this is not President Bouaga money. This is taxpayer money. This is Liberian people money. Must you always defend this president regardless? Do you agree with the optics that comes out of this, and the president spending the Liberian people money this way? Bishop Hager.
Thank you very much. To the Liberian people, His Excellency Joseph Newman Bouaga did not buy any car. The car was bought by the presidency. The Director of Executive Protection Services came on radio and made a press statement to clearly give the rationale, the reason why a new vehicle was needed. And you guys are not paying attention to what he said. Everything in Liberia is politicized. The people suffering. You made me think about what is a situation that happened in the Bible, where the people told the woman that brought the expensive perfume to put on Jesus, they said, oh, they should have sold it and gave the money to the poor. Jesus said to them, the poor people will still be here with you people, but she's prepared me for my burial. The point I'm trying to drive here is this. I don't care what President Joseph Newman Bouaga, if Joseph Newman Bouaga decide to ride keke to go to work, there will be people in Liberia that will criticize, that will say something. There's absolutely nothing President Joseph Newman Bouaga will do for a certain group of Liberians to be happy. Now, I want to speak on professional, based on information. The World Bank projecting the economic growth in terms of GDP for Liberia this year, 2025, to be. I'm coming. Listen, you allowed Prince, you allowed. We had to speak for almost 5 minutes. I'm trying to communicate. Now you interrupt.
I've given you more time to speak.
No.
Go ahead.
5.4% GDP growth will be one of the greatest growth in terms of economic recovery in West Africa. Check it, or you can go to the World Bank source and find it up. The arrest agenda. Not too long ago, we saw all the great things that they're doing for the agriculture. Even today, the agriculture minister gave what have been achieved in the agriculture sector and what they planned, all the things, Google things are happening. Nobody want to talk about it. The educational reform that is taking place. Today, the Bagibi University board was set up and the school started to be functional. Nobody talking about that. All the effort made in the health delivery to equip all the hospitals. Before them, no government hospital had dropped. Everything was dilapidated. Today you go, there is nobody here can challenge. You don't generally go there. All the government hospitals in Liberia have drugs now. They are provided with drugs. It never happened before. So for this young man, they call Prince Sherry, who want to coach President Joseph Newman Bouaga how to lead the country. Sad year, he was making $15,000 every month, while in America to talk all kinds of things about George Weah.
Sherry,
George Weah took the country money and went all the way and sat down in to go watch his son playing football for 45 days. And Prince Sherry was making for the thing that had him Prince Sherry is because his $15,000 not coming anymore. So he hurting him by way, but nothing he can do. So just wait. And then he buy election coming in any country when the people don't let it go, man. That election you'll see it. So let's watch the by election in Nima. We'll see who will win. This is why I look at the Liberian people appreciate His Excellency Joseph Nyeman Boakai. There are some Liberians don't like it. That's politics. But they can't basing it. The old man did not go to buy a car. It was in the budget. The people say, oh man, the car you get every day to fix it, it's breaking down, it's not good for you. We want to be riding with you. The car break down the highway. So they decided to get a new car so the car get break down. It's not bad. What's wrong with that? The president of world to work, all the presidents around the world, their government gave them facility to go to work.
You said you had a question for Mr. Sheriff. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No question. No, you have no question. Even Mr. Boda said he been surprised at the utterances that is coming from the bishop. I'm telling you that why I just observed that Mr. Boda observed, he just say that he just look and say, yeah, but he damaged all photo, he chakla all, he very humble. I want just be here, you see, if you want to live for here to look, Bishop, like I said from the very initial, you don't need a single cent from the Unity Party.
Stop talking that thing.
You don't need
Stop talking it.
For you to sit on this platform
Stop talking it.
and be using these kind of words.
Stop talking.
It means that you are not even concerned about the people of Liberia.
Why am I not concerned?
Look at this.
You know what I'm doing in Liberia? No, I'm not concerned. Not even go there.
Mr. Boakai was brave enough to go to Gbapolu and use, according to them, 250K, which is by far less. You dug hand pump. Who went there? They said the hand pump can only work for 4 hours. After 4 hours, nothing. In a day, only 4 hours can work for. After 4 hours, but this man told us that hand pump cost 250K. That man was brave enough. Mr. Boakai was brave enough to go and dedicate that particular project. Take for example, look at what the security booth. They told us that security booth cost almost about 700,000. The only one we saw one, and Mr. Boakai was brave enough to go there to go call raping for it. And you understand? So you can see that this man, and like I said from the beginning, is insensitive to the plight of the Liberian people. What kind of leader?
So when Joe we are want to watch the football, the man interrupted me. He interrupted me. When Joe we are want to watch football for his son for 45 days. No. Let me ask you. No. I'm not going to allow him.
I think no.
We gave you the opportunity to ask Prince Okoye, Mr. Sheriff, a question you did not. So let's protect him. Go ahead, Mr. Sheriff.
Yeah. So you found out that it's just appalling. Like you said, I listening to the bishop saying, doing by-election, we will know. Look, you don't need by-election to know how the people feel. We know how this government is desperate and how they can be able to use and manipulate their powers in order for them to be able to get votes. We know that. So it's very clear. We saw that doing the opposition. We know what they did. But look at the faces of the people every day. Look, you don't need to even be like, look at what happened at these very radio stations. It is enough and it is sufficient to tell you of what is happening. As I speak to you, as things are tough, ask yourself, what is the job that government is creating?
Okay, now then you got to have the conversation.
They are talking about increased taxes.
During job we are time, like bro, everybody was dancing in job, right?
Doing George we did not see the president. We are buying $1.2 million vehicle.
The man paid for the non-condominium. Where he got the money from? Where he got the money from to pay for the non-condominium? All the hustlers and why they
we did not see or we did not hear of President Weah spending almost $400,000 on health. Where Boakai has to go to Ghana, he has to go to other countries to go take care of his health, spending almost about $400,000 for the Liberian people money.
Yeah, be talking.
Under the regime
make
of
no
his
sense.
President
It make no sense. You can just come up with figures. You just come up with figures.
He was
Why
that
the auditor not die? Why?
Hello.
We got two people talking on the show. Let's
Bishop
allow
Hager.
Mr. Sherry to conclude. We'll give you the opportunity to talk, Bishop Hager. Go ahead, Mr. Sherry.
But you got time. If you want me to be here, you got to time. You got to time everybody now. You got to time. Or you cut the microphone off.
You didn't suggest that when you were talking, Bishop Hager.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Do it. Time everybody now. Or you cut the microphone off.
So you can see that even Bishop Hager, his own morphology is not even aligning with what he is saying. He's saying another thing, but his body language is speaking another thing.
What the body language say?
The body language alone is a deception to what you are propagating. Because there is no serious discussion. You understand in what you are saying. That somebody say yeah, that you message. You want to tell me in a Liberia where people cannot even afford to eat in fact, straight 1 time a day. In a Liberia that Joseph Newman Boyka promised that he is coming, he with the experience, he will come to transform, he will come to be able to bring the best brain on board and do what is not usual. What I mean, in other words, to come and change the system. Look at how this man is behaving. This man every day is appointing people. At the end of the day, guess what happened? Money, when you look at our wage bill now, the government wages, it has increased. But he's sacking the ordinary people who are sweeping to get something like $50, to get $60.
Thank you, Mr. Sherry.
They have been sacked. What Joseph Newman Boyka is bringing
the man till 5 minutes.
His cronies so that at the end of the day, he can employ them and give them high salary.
Thank you, Mr. Sherry. Let's bring this conversation back to Mr. Boda before we take our break, and then we'll come back. We'll give you guys the opportunity. Mr. Sheriff, mention your name if you want to either confirm or deny that you are actually disappointed or not disappointed in some of the points Bishop
I am so happy for what the president is doing.
You're not recognized. We're going back to Mr. Boda, and then we'll take a break. When we come back,
but you leave all the things that Sherry just all the lie he just put. You gotta leave it.
I will give you a minute or two to clarify if you need to. Mr. Boda, let me bring this conversation back to you. Look, Mr. Sherry mentioned your name, so I want to give you the opportunity to clarify that.
I think I was just having a moment of listening to what they were sharing.
Mr. Boda, you are the only guy who doesn't. You always be why?
Huh? Are you 300?
You are the only guy who is very low. Why?
I don't know. You can hear me. One moment I can be audible. I'm not.
Yeah,
everybody is audible, but only you are low always.
You can't come on the show and leave your phone in the living room and be outside. Like almost like you're sitting so far away from your phone. No, I'm go ahead. Go ahead.
Like I said earlier, I was watching Mr. Sharif and Bishop Hager getting at each other. You know, with this guy issue, like I said earlier in my open intro, it can be resolved with our legislatures. And so these things, I know people would raise alarm. Okay, it's going to be alarming, but
so you need legislator to tell Mr. Boyka that the people suffering don't go buy $1.2 million car. Mr. Boda, let's be fair here. Joseph Newman Boyka is not somebody that just come in government to say you leave it with legislator. The old message should know.
Mr. Sheriff, you're not recognized. Let's protect Mr. Boda.
I'm sorry.
The fact of the matter is, we don't want to go into digging all of the nuances of the president's office or Mr. Weah. Mr. Weah left office. If you want to go down that road, he took fleas of behavior with him that he personalized.
You know, I don't want that
information is misleading, it's false, it has no iota of truth. But all what the former government has was turned over.
Now you are not finish, you are interrupting all day because you don't want to hear the truth.
Let's Mr. Boda, please.
I know my brother here, you will not want to hear the truth. You want to criticize everybody else, but you're the only person that got the facts.
Mr. Boda, you're protected, Mr. Boda. Go ahead.
Thank you for protecting me. So, like I said, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole with President Weah, what he did, what he didn't do. He's out of office. Whatever that is left there is inherited by Mr. Boyka to fix. So, and buying President car should not be the end of the world for Liberia or the issue of prosperity for if they didn't buy that car.
Thank you, Mr. Boda. I have I think most Liberians will have a problem with the point you just made. you're trying to almost like sweep this on the rug. We can talk about this president purchasing of Alexa 800 and don't talk about the past administration. We can do that. And to Mr. Sheriff's point, when you put this on the legislature, it's almost like you're saying the president is not aware of the plight of the Liberian people. President Boubacar not know that the Liberian people suffering, that when he make purchases like that can help change at least 1 or 2 Liberian life, that is something that he shouldn't be doing for the sake of or how Liberian people will feel about that. So I understand the legislature have their duty to play in the budget, but the president put that the office of the president put that in his budget for his vehicle, despite the suffering of the Liberian people. So if you want to like,
let me say that to you. The first
go
priority
ahead.
in the nation. Listen, the first priority in the nation is the security of your president.
I think the Constitution Article 1 with
Okay, the security of the president of the nation is number 1 priority, because that man is the number 1 man that has to be protected.
Nobody get time for President Boubacar. But anyways, let's take our first break.
Nobody
Why you be taking break? Why you be taking break?
When he was vice president, our parking lot, nobody had time for him. Now that he become president, make him be passing around. Nobody want even know whether he even around. Look at it, go on Benson Street. As crowded as that Benson Street, when me go on Benson Street, that whole place will be black. That man go there, nobody get time for him. He say insecurity, we get time for that. Who get time for him?
Bishop Hagar, let me give you a 2-minute who will take our break. But let's start fooling like Brentford. Nobody got time for President Boubacar. Is nobody worry about him. Let me be honest with you. Bishop Hagar, let's see from you.
When it comes,
You see, the thing is, Bishop
listen,
Hagar
they
knows
never
very well
recognize
some
you
of these
print. They
things.
did not recognize you print. They did not
go ahead.
recognize you. When it comes to the vehicle issue, I would say to you and to the Liberian people, clearly, if you want information to find out, please go to the right source. Everybody, listen, everybody having opinion, but nobody's seeking for the fact.
No, we are not supposed to be going seeking for the government. The government have an information arm.
The government gave the information. Are you accepting it? Are you accepting it? What the information ministry? Listen,
guys, you guys are arguing.
The procurement.
I want to let it come on. I came here.
I wouldn't want to go ask other governments who provide information.
Mr. Sheriff, Mr. Sheriff, let's protect Bishop Hagar. Bishop Hagar,
he is protected, but they don't say that.
The government,
platform, for you to come and say we will go look for information. The government has a responsibility to inform us through the Minister of Information. That's why
indeed, the government.
When there are issues of controversy, the Minister of Information will come up on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday to give us the information.
Mr. Sheriff, yes, thank you very much. Please, again, let's protect Bishop Hagar. Bishop Hagar,
he's protected.
Go ahead, Bishop Hagar.
What I'm saying here is very simple. Let's put politics aside. This is an issue that's very easy to deal with. Mr. Gay, the director of the Executive Protection Agency, provided the rationale behind the vehicle purchase. What led to that? Have you guys analyzed to see the fact, or you're just assuming? Now,
Mr. Gay is a pathological liar. That man is a psychopath. That man is suffering from some mental instability. The information that he has provided is completely contrary. Yes, sir. Sorry.
Again,
yes,
please.
sorry.
That's
what I'm saying right now. Given the scenario, is President Joseph Youma Bouagar and his convoy was going and it breaks down, all the sedition then will be saying, oh, the man useless. The man know nothing. Look at the car breaking down on him. Now they're trying to be proactive and say, we don't want the kind of situation. Let's buy a vehicle that will guarantee the president mobility. We don't have to be spending money to buy parts every day, ordering parts here, there, it's too expensive. Let's save Liberian people money. Even saving the Liberian people money by buying a new vehicle. Listen to me. I invest in old car and I can never do it again.
Thank you.
I can never do it. It's better to buy. Since I bought my new car, it took me 5-6 years, no problem. But when I had
car
an
was
old car,
turned over to Mr. Boyka was a new car from His Excellency President Dr.
it
John
was a
Mahama.
very old vehicle,
No,
my friend.
it was not. It was not. The
It was
vehicle that was purchased in 2019, basically 2019.
Thank you.
That vehicle that was running all
2019
around,
Yeah,
everywhere he was
was
going
a
all
new
around
vehicle
with
that was
it.
given to him.
Bishop Hagar, Mr. Sheriff, and those of you watching us, let's take our first break, and when we come back, we will get into the ending part of the show. Thank you.
Okay.
Attention all organizations, NGOs, and social clubs in and out of Liberia. Are you tired of relying solely on social media to run your operations? An effective web platform is your most important marketing tool, and that's where Tiamat.com comes in. Hello, my Liberian people. My name is Sophia, and I want you to consider this. 53% of consumers do online research about an organization before talking to someone from that institution. That means not having a website could be costing you opportunities. Step up your game and establish a professional online presence. Introducing our web platform designed specifically for 501c organizations, small businesses, and political organizations, social clubs, etc. At Tiamat.com, we understand how important it is to make a great digital first impression, which is why we offer you all the help needed to develop, maintain, and host NGOs and small and big organization websites by giving you a full suite of services that includes automatic billing for members, membership and visitor portals, first-class design and functionality, and much more. The best part is, it only costs $20 per month. Upgrade your image today with our customized web design services. Visit www.tiamat.com to get started. This is a Liberian-owned business.
Maintaining your vehicle can be a major investment. That's why here at Brothers Auto Care, we pride ourselves on providing professional and reliable auto care at affordable rates. Whether you need an inspection, new brakes, or diagnostic reports, our skillful and experienced mechanics are here for you every step of the way. Call Brothers Auto Care now to schedule your next auto maintenance and repair service. At Brothers Auto Care, we help you drive home with peace of mind. At Fatu's, we know what it's like to feel a little homesick. That's why we work hard to bring you the very best and freshest imported foods and supplies from home. With quality design African cloths, beauty supplies, and tasty African food items, you'll feel right at home. So what are you waiting for? Stop by Fatu's African International Market for all of your household and family needs. See you soon.
Hi, my name is Theophilus Julipan Nelson I. I am the founder and CEO of Lift Africa LLC. Lift Africa started as an employment agency that sought the employment of immigrants coming to the U.S. and finding ways and means to go to start life in this great your country. Now we have added airport pickups and drop. Car rental or rental. As you see, we have a new business location. Started with just a little office part, but today we have a whole complex that we can do a lot of stuff with.
Hello everyone, my name is Geneva Kreitz. I'm the Executive Administrator of Uplift Africa. We have an excellent employment rate at our company. We work with and for you regardless of your situation. If you've ever been in prison, maybe your background isn't great, do not worry. We have a place for you here. We believe in equal opportunity for everyone, especially you. So sign up today and begin earning.
My name is Emmanuel B. Horton, Operational Director for Live Africa. Live Africa is the place to be.
Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the season finale of season 7 of The Hard Zone. My name is Derek Yale, and I'm here with my team of panelists, Mr. Ja Winkin Weir, Mr. Martin Boda, Bishop Hager, and Mr. Prince Sharif. We are here at the very end of the episode or the show or this season. So we just have one more segment to bring you. That is the part where we ask our panelists to give you their summary of what was discussed and their closing remarks, as some will call it. And then we will, after that, curtain to this episode. But again, on behalf of myself and the network, I would like to say thank you so much for going this far with us on this episode entire season. So after this, we will be working on the production of season 8. We're coming with a brand new format and everything, so we're all looking forward to that. Make sure you are following us so you can get updates on when we will be doing the pilot episode of season 8. With that being said, let me now come over to you, panelists. Thank you so much for the exchange tonight. The discussion, again, as promised, was very engaging and intriguing. We always have you guys here to do just that. So now I'd like to start the ball rolling with giving you guys the opportunity to give your conclusion here. Mr. Ja Winkin Weir, you've been selected by the network to give the opening part of the closing remarks tonight.
Yeah, I have to be the last. Prince will not be the last.
You see, I had that plan, but you ruined it now. So you got to go after
Okay.
Mr.
Okay, thank you, Derek. Thank you, fellow panelists. Tonight, I want to close on a different note, aside from the politics. From what I said earlier in my statement, in Liberia, specifically Monrovia, water is an issue. But here is one thing I can tell everybody, all of us. You do not need a scientific research or discovery to know that water is just underneath the ground. So I will encourage. And the good thing about it is that the material for hand pumps, they can be bought from the stores in Liberia. Every neighborhood can organize herself into groups. Think about, identify a spot in your neighborhood, what is required, and collect money. Look for a volunteer to dig your well. Do not rely on NGOs to dig well. So my message to all of us, no matter where is your location, that is the beginning of taking responsibility. Forget about the government. Water is just underneath. Every community should find a spot, identify the spot, call a community meeting. I'm asking all the youth in the various neighborhoods. For those of you listening, be the first to organize hand pump community group. If you do that, look for a volunteer to dig the well, call the community team to identify how much it requires to have your own well to solve the issue of water. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ja Winkin Weir. And Mr. Winkin Weir is one of our longest panelists on this panel. I'd like again to thank you so much for the contribution you gave to the discussion, especially on tonight and on every episode. It was designated that you go first, and then we'll take Mr. Boda last for this discussion. So now Mr. Bishop Hager just make it so difficult between he and Mr. Sharif. But again, that's the kind of work
I can go anytime, doesn't matter.
No, this was Mr. Sharif. I have to take you now. And again, this is the closing part of the conversation. We don't do rebuttals. We don't do. You guys know the rule. Let's just allow the panelists to have his time to just give us his closing remark. Bishop Hager, please. I'm not picking on you, Mr. Hager, Mr. Boda, Mr. Ja Winkin Weir. Let's protect Mr. Sharif as he give us his closing remark. Mr. Sharif, go ahead.
You see, it becomes very, very difficult to defend the lies, especially lies that were told by Mr. Boyka to find his way to power. This old man was brave enough to tell us that everything that was happening under the Weah-led administration was, completely mess. But here is it that Mr. Boyka has taken over as president. Absolutely no project has this man undertaken. Even though he said that President Weah was building sidewalk. But what are you building now? The same sidewalk that President Weah left there is what he's continuing. This man, according to him, he said President Weah was the one that was causing problem, especially for the economy. But now look at where we are. People who even used to go in market before cannot even go in the market again. Let's look at where we are in terms of security. Every day, look at the human rights report that just came out for Liberia. Look at the human rights report, how damaging it is. You have the executive, you have the office of the presidency encouraging criminal act without taking any action. Somebody will say, what is the criminal act? The last time we saw the Ministry of Foreign Affairs taking money from Liberians in the name of scholarship. What becomes of that? We saw the political advisor of the president lying to the Liberian people that they get 285 buses that they were bringing. Where are the buses? As I speak to you today, JFK is partially not functional because some of the departments, not for me, but the CEO of JFK, that some of the departments are not even working. As I speak to you, public schools are closed because teachers do not have their salary. But you have Mr. Boyka Levy, an 80 years old man who should be concerned about meeting his heavenly father and seeing how best he can live a life or leaving a good legacy. This man is not after that. But this time now, the man get custom mark clothes on him. The shoe where he's wearing is sufficient enough to be able to transform the Bapolu Health Center. $800 and some more dollar shoe. This man is riding a vehicle. The money of that vehicle alone, you could take that 250,000 to be able to transform the education sector, to pay our public school teachers. Then you get people that want to defend this kind of devilish act against the Liberian people. Don't allow people to hold you with anger, especially defending this kind of thing. It is indefensible. Look at what happened at the airport for this government to come tell that, oh boy, let me put it the Liberian way, that boy made for the let to go off to the airport. Is this not a disgrace for you to come tell us that a boy made the let to go off? You don't have any plan. It's unfortunate. Look, this government is completely out of target. This government is completely out of ideas. So the only thing that they do now, when you say the truth, then they want to attack. And they can't say, oh, what president we are, what president we are. It's a shame for you to be in almost 2 years of your government. You still running and struggling behind President we are. When we tell you, say, President we are, he ran it one. President we are, he do it one. 2 years going. Then you still talking about President we are. Look, let's say to Mr. Boyka. Mr. Boyka, and I want to borrow from what Mr. Weah said from the Constitution, that all power is inherent in the people. Mr. Boyka, we want to say to you that you are reaching to your Waterloo politic. Legally, the Liberian people will be able to muster our people to ensure that you either lead or you leave. That will be the mandate. You either leave or you leave. You cannot be insensitive to the plan. In a Liberia where we don't have George Uriah, $1.2 million car. In a Liberia where our children cannot even afford to go to hospitals and be given drugs. Then you come and can't tell us that drugs are in the hospital. Only for us to go, hospitals are not closed. You are knowing that. Right in Foya, where this man coming from. Do you know, I'm from Grand Cape Town and Lofa. Do you know that the public hospital, the Talawe hospital.
How long the man will get there? How long the man will take the whole night?
Bishop Hagar.
It's closed. It's basically closed. People will only go there to say that. Now, when you go to public hospitals, you just have nurses sitting down there now. They just waiting. As now you can't say, go buy your own drugs, go buy your own syringe, go buy your own everything. Honor this government that an old man who has experience that is supposed to ensure that at least the people agenda is what he will prioritize. He prioritizing shoe, he prioritizing clothes. The man who could not even afford, you are crediting from bank according to him, you are living on loan. The man who tell a horse to be parking lot, that today this man has abandoned the Liberian people. What kind of bad we do to this man to give him the presidency? We thought that
as a virtue of his age, that he will come, he get time for no kind of opulence living, he get time for who lacking, who not lacking, he will come to do the right thing. But look at what is happening. This man is every day bringing up people who are even not contributing to the government. This man has a government with the highest rate of government official being paid high. How will you take down the ordinary people? You taking down the ordinary people. You say the old man they were sweeping on the street, they should not go to work. You take down people who are working at the Ministry of State for presidential affairs. You took them down, but you bringing on board your cronies and your friends, and some of them are taking up to $15,000-$20,000 in a nation like Liberia. It's a shame, and we are
Thank you.
saying to Boyka that you have reached your Waterloo, and that Waterloo is you lead, because that's what you were elected for, or you leave.
Thank
And
you.
the Liberian people are reaching to that particular stage. We are reaching
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Sherry, for your contribution to tonight on this episode and all of the other episodes that you have appeared on. You truly bring a different dimension to the conversation here, and we truly appreciate that. Thank you again for your time here with us on season 7. Now let's hear from the bishop who couldn't wait for his time, because every time Prince talking, both of you, I have to be very honest with you. The exchange between both of you actually heightened the show, and you bring a different spin to the show, so we do appreciate that. But Bishop Hagar, since it's the final episode of season 7, we will actually Bishop Hagar, you're gonna protect, you're just gonna interrupt me like that.
Yeah, you have to already allow me.
We're going to skip your closing remark for this episode, and we'll hear from you in season 8. So let's hear from Mr. Boda. Go ahead, Bishop.
One of the Bishop tough point or you talk last. You can't defend the indefensible. You can't defend the indefensible. Don't do things here that you make people to get fair with you in your community, Bishop. You are one of our crowd.
Listen,
don't defend what is
listen.
indefensible.
Let's get it, Bishop. Let's say we protected you already. Let's get it.
What
Yes.
to the Liberian,
Derek,
to the Liberian people?
Bishop, before you end, Derek, look, from what I just said, I want for the name to be Neighborhood Water Welfare Team. Anybody organize that, contact the network, I'll do the first donation of $300 to that first neighborhood.
Thank you. If you're hearing it, Mr. Jawinkin, we can repeat that. I think that's very important.
I said, I'm urging all neighborhoods in Liberia to organize themselves into neighborhood water welfare teams for well digging in every neighborhood. Identify a spot, call a meeting. That will be NWWT. The first community that will do that, that will contact you. I will give them $300 as my donation to that project.
Thank you. You should be hearing from me tomorrow. But let's. You want to say? You hear
from me now?
No, but there should be proof.
In fact, we get a video, we get even the document, we get all the performer info, all the documentary with me now. I'm saying it
to let's hear from Bishop Hagar.
I know I want to appreciate all of you, and to Prince Sharif, I do appreciate you. To all the Liberians listening to me, I see a lot of people listening to me, and many of you don't understand why I always come here to stand and support President Joseph Yuma Boakai. We had an election in Liberia over a year ago. Free and fair election. The reality was that the country was at a very terrible state. Everybody in Liberia concluded that the country was not going in the right direction. So we needed a change. Change is like you go to the doctor and the doctor says you have this sickness. This sickness needs surgery. If you don't take the surgery, you will die eventually. The surgery in the operation room is painful. It hurts. Blood will come up. Unpleasantness will come up. But that is a process for you to be healed. What Liberia is experiencing right now, nobody's insensitive to the hard time in Liberia. Our year, I spend thousands of dollars every month. We have a school in Liberia. We have churches besides the number of people whose school fees, people hospital bills, literally full money was sent from America here. I can say 35% of my income go toward helping people in Liberia. We are all Liberians. Nobody can tell me here that XYZ love Liberia past the other person. We all know that country is our country. And we need to love each other. I have made my decision. My decision is I see His Excellency, President Joseph Yuma Boaga, as the best for now, for the Liberian people. And from all indication, His Excellency is doing his best to put this country on the right path to progress and development. Is his government perfect? Absolutely not. Let's look today, Liberian people. Go to Ivory Coast, go to Ghana, go to Togo, go to Nigeria that have oil, go to South Africa, go to Sierra Leone. All the nations around Africa, around us, the condition is even worse. Compare how much people paying for bag of rice in Sierra Leone to that of Liberia. The economic, according to Sierra Leone, they will say Liberia better than Sierra Leone. Does it mean that we can do better? We can do better. But every little thing that happens, it must be politicized to divide the country. Prince Sharif, that is talking here today. Prince was sitting down in his living room here in America, making $15,000 every month from the Liberian people money. George, we are used to saying money. Jeff,
Information is false.
No. I was talking.
Has
I was
no iota of
talking.
truth in it.
I was talking.
Yeah, I know. I just want
I'm
to
talking.
know
Don't interrupt.
that information is for 15,000. How the higher pay person?
15,000
Because
every month.
minister will not even
Listen,
make you
hold
up to
on
that
now.
amount.
Why you interrupting?
Minister will not even make
The
you up to that
same
amount.
Prince Johnson, Prince
Even
Sharif.
lawmakers are not making
Are you protecting
50,000.
me?
No,
Mr. Sheriff.
yes,
Mr.
sir.
Sheriff,
Sorry. Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
So lawmaker are making more than lawmaker.
So the Liberian people spoke and gave His Excellency Joseph Yuma Boaga a 6-year mandate. And according to every school of politics or school of government, you can start evaluating the performance of a government after the first 2 years. You can start seeing indicators. We even go 2 years yet.
It's time like you moving up.
No.
It's
Listen.
unfortunate, man. I think you are not doing well to us, Derek.
Let
You
me
are not doing well
learn. Let me
to us.
learn, Prince.
You
I
are not
know.
doing well
Let
to
me
this
learn.
particular show. You
Let
are not
me
doing well to
learn.
this show. Bishop
Let me
Henry
learn,
here
Prince.
is on record
You
of
are
saying
you
90
are you
days. For
are you
90 days,
protecting me
it
or
go
I'm
to
gonna
1 year. From
leave?
1
Are you
year now, it go to
protecting me?
2 years.
No,
From
Mr.
2 years,
Sheriff,
it going to 3 years.
Mr. Sheriff, Bishop Hicka, I have to.
No. Please. No, you said closing
I will give
remark.
you your
Closing
time.
remark. Closing remark.
This is
See,
a brand new statement on the show.
This hard Zoom are gonna make me a CDC Zoom. The hardest show gonna be called CDC Zoom. That's how I'm gonna call it. Because you want to spin up CDC talking point. CDC, no, they think let us network remain independent. When Prince was talking, you allowing for 7 minutes, no interruption. I'm talking now. Electric current hijack you.
No. I'm sorry for interrupting you, and I promise to give you your time back. I'm just saying this is brand new information because we started with on day one. From day 1 to 90 days. For 90 days, they gave him 6 months. From 6 months, now we went to a year. After a year, now it's in every political school board that will have to wait for 2 years before we review the president. Let me give you a time. I know how we're gonna keep moving the goalposts like with the 2 years now. We gotta wait. But let hear from you, Bishop Hager.
Listen, I'm quoting those who went to the school of government. It's a universally accepted.
I may be quoting people. Quote yourself, then you say quoting people. Nobody in the school of government will tell you say 2 years. Nobody will tell you that. Even in America, this advanced country, they give you 90 days. Let's get tough work. 90 days. They say 2 years. Bishop, don't do that thing. Not good.
Okay, hold on.
You gotta
Let the bishop to close. I'm surprised with the 2 years.
To the Liberian people, please, it is incumbent upon us to stop politicizing everything.
The man who gonna rescue is telling the Liberian people to rescue him. He's asking for 2 years. The rescuer is not asking for somebody to rescue him.
Mr. Sherry, let protect the bishop. Go ahead, Bishop.
But Bishop not for more than 7 minutes now. Yeah.
I'm not even talking about 3 minutes yet. Not even 3 minutes yet. So we are contributing towards the economic, social development of that country. We all love Liberia. Maybe because you know how to talk, you think you love Liberia more than us. We all in one way or the other helping to push that country forward. We don't want that country to go down. So don't even tell the thing what you see on this platform tonight. President Joseph Yuma Boaga have reached to whatever way you describe it. It's not going to help us. Right now, I can look right in your face. If you ever bring your corruption king come back again, Joseph Yuma Boaga will still be in election. Let him wait for 2029. 2029, we will have a free and fair election. If the Liberian people, let's promote the democratic culture. When George Weah was running for hold on.
Hold on.
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. With all the mismanagement under George Weah, we never called for him to leave. We respected the process. The by-election, there are so many by-elections. Hold on now. Hold on.
Turn the government over. You said it through your propagandist.
Mr. Sherry.
My brother Derek, there are some things that we don't need to allow to just, go out there.
We don't do that in the segment of the show.
Okay, no problem. Okay,
just allow Bishop Hager to finish. Go ahead.
But the time gone now. Yeah.
So please, whatever people talking about 40 years, I can give you some Liberian people need to understand. The best economy that was in the world, Edward Balladois in France became prime minister. He said he came from the best economic school. 35 years experience, became prime minister of France. He plunged France into the worst economic, the reality in the world. Today, the global reality, stop talking things that you don't know, things have changed. Somebody can get experience.
President, where we want 1.2 million.
You don't understand. You're talking on layman terms.
Guys, you guys still acting like
Thank you. Mr. Sherry, let's allow
Mr. Boaga living opulent life. That too. Things are changed for
Boaga. Let me give you another.
People suffering for you to talk about the people suffering, Bishop. Then you say money. You say things are changed for the better for Joseph Yuma Boaga.
Bishop Hager.
Suffering. Bishop,
you have to speak on behalf of the people.
You are the voice of God on earth. You are the mediator between man and God and government. You're supposed to speak for the people. That will speak for men like Boaga. Who have the misplaced priority? Yes, sir.
Mr. Sherry, please.
Don't even know his own priority.
Please, Mr. Sherry, let's give another minute. Go ahead.
Expressing my political opinion. Thank God for
your political opinion must be in reality. It must be in reality before it's confronting the people. Bishop,
at least, honestly, before God, I have never got a dime. This man is trying to get his job back. He won't make 15,000. I know why he defending. So for me, I am willing to know the law for Liberia.
Thank you.
For me, to the Liberian people, let's stop politicizing everything. If the government made mistake, those who won,
thank you.
They get set. No, listen.
I
Now.
think Bishop
They
is
get
working with
listen.
Bishop
Hold
Reed,
on. They get
who
set
praised
for
Joseph Juma
information.
for buying car. Later
Thank
on.
you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Sheriff.
If they still continue, the auntie are going to come back on this show. Be
Bishop
honest.
Mega,
No, I keen to learn. I
Bishop
keen to
Mega,
have partly a change. I may have,
Go
but
ahead.
that man should stop interrupting. I gave him time to talk.
Bishop
That's
Mega,
not
if we be in all fairness, you started interrupting on the show. It's been very difficult trying to stop both for you for interrupting. So again, let me give you 30 seconds to conclude, and then we'll move on to Mr. Buddha.
What I say to the Liberian people right now, it looks like the operation is painful, but you're gonna get better. Things gonna get better. I promise you. You can take my word for it. Liberians are the best role ever. We are not going back to that corruption King Kong that mismanaged the Liberian. The Liberian people rejected you. Wait for 2029. That's what I'm saying.
Throwing shade, Mrs. That throwing shade again. You know,
Man, who get government? I'm promising the people.
you know,
You wait not part of the government. Now you promising the people. You see what the country.
Thank you,
The
guys.
man who get government, I'm promising the people.
Thank
But
you,
you were not part of the man government. Now you the one can promise the people. And you
Thank
see
you,
contradiction right there.
Thank you, Bishop Hager. Thank you for your contribution here on this episode and all of the other episodes you've appeared on. Guys, to wrap up this season and episode tonight, let's hear from our final panelist, Mr. Martin Boda. Give us your conclusion tonight, and we will draw the curtain to this one. Mr. Boda.
I said thanks to everyone here tonight on the panel. And say to the Liberian people, peace be unto y'all. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Boda. Again, once again, to all of you watching us, let me say it's been a really great.
You at least 1 minute, Mr. Boda, or even 30
Again,
seconds.
you know 1 minute.
That's good.
The issue is, Mr. Boda said, can I defend? You see, that's why I said the whole thing is indefensible. It's indefensible.
Mr. Sherry, thank you very much to all of you. This show has been a success. The season has been great. This is where we would like to end season 7. This is the final episode of season 7. So continue to follow the Liberian Radio and Television Network on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. We will update you guys on when we will begin season 8. But until then, let me thank all of you esteemed panelists and those of you that have been watching us, engaging the show through the comment section, and also sharing this program. I would like to say thank you so much. And we will see you guys on season 8. So until then, have a pleasant good night.
I want picture
I post for the photo, but I can see myself in the photo. Post. What happened to the photo? Now I can see myself in the photo. Post. The people that were laughing at the photo, now the people that I see shining in the photo. Post. I post for the photo, but I can see myself in the photo. What happened to the photo? Now I can see myself in the photo. The people that were laughing at the photo, now the people that I see shining in the photo. Papi, what happened to the photo? What happened? How you really tell it all the photo? Now I can see myself in the photo. I was standing right down there in the photo, but now I can't even see my shadow in the photo. Where deep, blah in the photo. So I got the money I see in the photo. They say your camera was dog. They say your picture was not clear. If your picture will be all clear, now the reason why they went and took the picture different place. When I was in the pussy in the photo, talking